Thank you for joining the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Houston for our weekly online ministers forum. I'm the Reverend D. Scott Cooper, Assistant Minister of Congregational Life, filling in for Dr. Bosson, who's away this week. These programs are conversations with community organizers, artists, scholars, religious leaders, and others about how we can collectively address the present crises. Their purpose is to offer members of our community and all who wish to join us online science-based resources. Today, I'm joined by Karen Speer, who recently joined the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Houston as voting justice organizer. She is working to rally UUs to get out the vote in Harris and Fort Bend counties and throughout Texas. We'll be talking about her work with multiple UU congregations in Texas, UU the Vote, the Metropolitan Organization, and other organizations who are working for increased voter turnout this election. Karen has been in nonprofit management for many years and has experience in community development and engagement, project management, and leadership. She believes your vote is your voice and your power. So for those of you who are with us on the Ministers Forum for the first time, let me say a few words about Unitarian Universalism. We are a religious tradition that celebrates the possibility of goodness within each human heart, the transformative power of love, and the clarifying voice of reason. We believe that we need not think alike to love alike. We hope that you find these forums a source of connection, hope, and clarity. So Karen, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great, great. So before I ask you about all the work that you're doing to help volunteers increase voter turnout, I'd love for those watching to get to know you a little bit better. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience in nonprofit management and community development and leadership.
I was in nonprofit management for many years. It's a passion. I think people that get in nonprofit feel that way. I love reaching out to the community, let them know what's happening. In nonprofit, there's so many inequities in life. And in nonprofit, you're reaching out to let others know about these inequities, whether it's the people you're reaching out to try to gain money, or if it's support in whichever way it is, or also to the individuals that are suffering from these inequities, whether it's from education or there's illiteracy, homelessness, there's so many. So that's what's such a passion, because you can help the people that are suffering from these inequities find resources, whether it's job skills or job training or education or housing or whatever it is. And then also you can educate the community at large on what is happening in our own community and worldwide.
Excellent. So you talking about passion sort of segues right into the next question that I had planned to ask you, because as part of the bio we ask you to give us to put on First Church's website. You said that your vote is your voice and your power. And I know you feel strongly about everyone who's eligible exercising their right to vote. So how did that become so important to you?
It started when I was very young. I remember when I was a little girl, I would go to the polls with my mom when she would vote, and she would say, "This is important. We have to go to the polls. We have to vote, whether it's for whatever election it was." And so it was instilled in me from a very young age, and I'm very blessed that happened, because some people it wasn't, and they don't realize that their vote means so much. It's their power, it's their choice. And so, but that's how it started with me, is a very young age, being taught at home and watching shows and watching debates and seeing what's happening out there in the community. And if we vote one way, this will happen, and it's just so interesting to see how people now are more energized, which I love to see, about voting.
That's true. So it sounds like your mom was really found that important in her life and kind of instilled it in you as well.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about her and where you grew up and everything.
Well, I grew up in Houston. I'm a native. And it was just, she was from Tennessee and she moved down here when she was pregnant with me. And our family moved down here, and it was just something, I guess, that was instilled in her also, because people sometimes feel so helpless they can't do anything. Something is happening, whether it's voting rights or racial injustice or whatever it is, you feel helpless. But there is things you can do, and voting is one of them. Voting is a powerful way to fight these injustices and these inequities.
Totally. Thank you. And I'm so glad she found that so important.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Well, we engaged you through the First Church here in Houston, and you're doing much work with our church's Justice Coordinating Council. This effort extends throughout Texas. I know, for instance, folks in Austin have already done a lot, as others have. So, talk a bit about all the great things other UU congregations throughout the state are doing.
It's not just the state of Texas. Also, the UU in Little Rock, Arkansas has joined our collaborative also. So that was so cool. And we try to meet once a week, and we share ideas and what we're doing and how we're doing it, whether it's phone banking or text banking or postcards or letter writing or voter registration drives. Everybody has different ideas and how they're doing it. And so when they share with the collaborative, we all are learning so much from each other. Austin's done great. Other UUs in the Houston area, the greater Houston area, also Brazos Valley up in Bryan College Station, and San Antonio, where they're all have such great ideas. Like Little Rock shared, they're giving gas cards to people to help transport people to the polls on voting day, or early voting. They're all different ideas for everybody. How to set up your car if you're transporting people, or different places you can phone bank or text bank, or if you're uncomfortable with that, to letter writing. Just sharing in the collaborative has brought so much more attention. Everyone's attention is more focused and coming up with new ideas.
Man, that's great. What a cool idea about the um, gas cards. I hadn't
I
thought
know.
of that. A lot of people have been
Yeah.
doing the phone banking and the text banking, but there's just a wealth of ideas, and it's great that people are, like you said, able to get together and share all those ideas to truly get as many people out voting this election as possible.
That's right, and it's also, you're bringing these ideas together so other people can capitalize on them, other churches or congregations, and also we're coordinating with other local nonprofits like the League of Women Voters or the NAACP, and so that helps also bringing other options to the table. Like tomorrow is a voter registration drive in Houston area, where the League of Women Voters is setting up places all over the city, so you can just drive through and register to vote. So it's kind of cool to kind of coordinate with all the organizations, not just the UU churches or congregations.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
That reminds me, when you mentioned the other organizations that we're able to work with, I think maybe this is a good time to emphasize this is a nonpartisan effort. We're just trying to get as many people out voting as possible, as are the groups that we're partnering with. So, talk a second about that.
That's right. It's nonpartisan. We want you to vote. We want everyone to know how important it is to vote. In fact, in Harris County, they have set up drive-through voting, and they have several of them, I think 7 of them throughout the county, where you don't even have to get out of your car. You drive to a parking lot, someone will come in and give you a bag with hand sanitizer, a mask if you need it, a little fingertip, and they'll bring you a portable voting machine. Also, Harris County is doing a 24-hour voting in several locations starting the 29th of October. It's just for early voting, 7 a.m. on the 29th of October, and the polls are open all the way through 7 p.m. October 30th. So if you're working shift work or if you're a night owl, you can vote in the middle of the night if you want to. You can. It's all online, and so there's so much available this year to vote because they're really trying to engage the voters and let people know how important it is to vote.
That's very cool. You don't happen to have at your fingertips the web address for all that
I
information?
do.
Oh, give that to us.
It's HarrisVotes.org.
Excellent, excellent. So anyone watching
Yeah.
this can go to HarrisVotes.org and
Hmm.
find out all those cool things that you just described to us. That's really great.
And there's a map on there, and it'll show you the different locations and the addresses and give you directions. There's voting available, and they did extend early voting also, and it starts the 13th of October, so through the 30th. But so they want people to vote. They're encouraging you to vote.
Excellent. That's really cool. Now, you just described how we're doing stuff all over Texas and even into Arkansas. I know the Unitarian Universalist Association has started something called UU the Vote, which the president, Susan Frederick Gray, is pushing to try and get all of the congregations to encourage um, us not only to vote, but to encourage others to vote. So I know you're working with them a bit too. So can you talk about how what we're doing is integrating with what they are doing?
UU the Vote has so many resources available. You can get on there with your congregation. It has a planning chart, what you can do and how you can do it. Over 50 ways to engage with voters. They also have they're concentrating on the tier 1 states, which are the states that they feel like need more engagement. And Texas is one, along with Georgia and Florida and Ohio. There's several. And you can get on UU the Vote and do phone banking. There's none in Texas at this time on UU the Vote, but they encourage you to help other states. They also have on the Wednesday this week, the 23rd, Gather the Spirit, where they're kicking off their virtual, fall push. So they want everyone engaged, and it's at 6:30 our time, Central Standard Time, and you can get on uuthevote.org and register, and they want as many people as possible from all the 50 states. They're going to recognize each state, what they've done so far, and just get people energized to know that this is the final push, because October 5th is the last day you can register to vote. So after that, you no longer can register, but that's why there's a push right now to register people. And then after that, let's get them out to vote.
This conversation typically will go out on Wednesday morning, so it'll be this evening when that Gather the Spirit happens. And our email newsletter goes out Wednesday morning as well with this link. And I hope to put links to that Gather the Spirit information in that newsletter so that as many people as possible can join in that, because it's going to be a very cool thing, as you said.
It will be. It'll be very cool, and you can hear what Texas has done so far.
Yeah, that's fabulous. That's fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
As we were saying, it's only 6 weeks into Election Day. Now, initially, we had a goal of contacting what they call touches, where you make some sort of contact with at least 11,000 potential voters, but we blew right past that goal, and so we've set a new one of 30,000. So, what's kind of a general timeline of some of the efforts that you have planned for our volunteers in this month and a half?
Well, right now, Vote Forward is an organization that UU the Vote partners with, and they're doing a letter writing campaign. And you can sign up for that, and you can write some letters. They don't want you to send them out until October 27th. They might move that date up. They're still thinking about that, but they want you to write letters. They have the whole script written. You print it out, and you just add some other notations to it. Sign your name, put it in an envelope with a stamp, and they're trying to reach 10 million people with letters,
Oh, cool.
because they think, I know it's a huge amount, and Texas has a lot of people. They're trying to reach the underengaged voter. so people that say this is important, we are telling you this election is important, as all the elections are. So please make sure you vote. And they also options on how to vote. We want to make sure everyone has a voting plan, what they plan to do, how they're going to do it. And in Harris County, it's a little bit easier because we do have the 24 hours and we do voting and we do have the drive-through voting. But other parts of the state might not have that, so they just need to be aware they need a plan. They need to make sure they know what they're going to do for this election.
That's a great point. You not only need to be registered, but you need to plan ahead as to how you're going to vote. You don't want to
That's
wait
right.
until 7 p.m. on November 3rd to try and figure out where you can go vote. And obviously, a lot of people are concerned about COVID, and so some people are opting to do early voting where it's anticipated there'll be fewer people standing around, and it might be a bit safer. So that's one
Correct.
option. And then some people, of course, are eligible to vote by mail. Not everyone, but many people are. And that's another option. So you're right. Planning ahead on how exactly you're going to do that voting is a great thing.
Also, the Toyota Center will be open for voting on voting day. So if you don't have to stand in line outside, whether the weather's, if it's inclement weather, hot, cold, you never know, rainy, you never know in Houston. They have places you can sit, you're socially distanced. So that's an option for people on November 3rd. They can go to the Toyota Center and vote there. You can vote at any place in Harris County now. You don't have to go to your polling place. So that's another option, which I think is great that the NBA has opened up their stadiums across the United States.
That is cool. And if I'm not mistaken, the Toyota Center is on the train line. Is that right?
It's downtown, is pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very close. So the train line or buses, or
Yeah.
you can caravan with friends. But yeah, so just so you know that that's an option, and you don't have to stand outside. You can sit, and you're going to be taken care of.
I wonder if the concession stands will be open.
I was wondering that too. I don't know, but I bet they would because people would probably, I don't know. I think it's a great idea. Get a hot dog and a Coke while you're waiting to vote.
Yeah, I'm all about snacks, so.
And you do have to turn your phones off. There's protocols you have to follow, and they'll
Okay.
tell you all about it. But the NBA is engaging people also. That should tell a lot of people how important this election is, that organizations across the country, including the NBA, and they're having a voter registration drive, tomorrow also at the Toyota Center. Everyone wants people to vote. Get engaged because your vote does count.
It's true, and UUs have always been very big on people making use of the democratic process. Since the founding fathers of this country to today, that is something that we've held very important. And in fact, Sunday I'm going to be talking more about that. Because it is something we hold very near and dear, and we believe people should let their voice be heard.
In fact, I was reading a little tidbit. I love little trivia. If one person at each polling place voted differently during the 1960 presidential election between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon, we would have had a different person, a president, a totally different president, if just one person at each polling place.
It's my understanding that's one of the first elections where, because there were televised debates, that the media made such a profound difference. And now we're in the era of social media as well as television and radio. So it just keeps evolving, and we need to stay on our toes.
That's right. Be aware. Because we do have just a short period of time. We can see the end. We're not like working on a project that's going to be, we have several years to get in motion. We have a limited period of time, and we need to make sure everyone is involved.
Well, you've mentioned several of the things people can do, like the letter writing and phone banking and different things. I want to make sure it's very clear to people how to contact you if they want to help, because we want everyone who wants to, everyone who's able, everyone who sees the importance of this to be able to contact you and help us get out the vote. So please tell us about that.
You can reach me at votingjustice@firstuuhouston.org. In fact, I've had some people reach out saying, "What can I do? How can I help?" Which I think is awesome. And I will definitely get back with you. There's so many different ways to help. And even if you're not in Houston and you're watching this, I can maybe put you in touch with other congregations around the state that you could work with.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. So, voting justice at
Right.
firstuu.org, and I'll see if Christian can't put that at the bottom of the screen as well, so there's no question how people can holler at you and volunteer their time and their help, because as we said, this is a very important election, and it's very important that everyone votes and has their voice heard this time.
And it gets, when other people join in, everyone gets energized. Like, oh, we have another volunteer to help us with phone banking or text banking, or that's the big thing now is text banking. But whatever it is, the whole team gets energized. Oh, more people want to do this. Yay, and so it does help everyone know that there's a sense of there's a passion with everybody, and they can look forward and see what we're doing.
And I encourage people to not hear the word phone banking and freeze and think, oh, the last thing on earth I want to do is call strangers, because no matter what you're good at or what you're comfortable doing, there's a job for you in this. If you love calling people, we'll have you do that. If you hate calling people, we'll find something else for you to do, writing letters, doing whatever. So no matter what your skill set is, if your passion is getting out the vote, we have a place for you.
Absolutely. A lot of people, when they think phone banking, they go like, they freeze. They don't want to do it. I know the first time I ever did it, I was uncomfortable. I'll admit it. I said, I'm not sure about this. But once you do it, it's become, you're doing it for the greater good. And so if you keep that in mind, it's okay. And if people get angry, you can say, don't call me. Okay, I'm sorry. You apologize and you take their name off the list. And there's also voting. You don't read all the time on phone banking. You're not reading from a list. There's group phone banking, and you can join in different groups. And so it makes it easier sometimes when you're with a group phone banking. And I totally get it. If you don't like it, if you're uncomfortable, we'll find something else. There's always other options.
I can't thank you enough for spending this time with us on the Ministers Forum and letting us know about your passion of getting out the vote and how all of us can help you help everyone in Texas get out the vote. So thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm really excited. Everyone I've worked with at First UU and the other congregations have been so wonderful. They have so much to offer and they give so much. It's just a pleasure.
Oh, that's great to hear. Thank you. Thank you. So if you found this video to be helpful, please consider joining us for our weekly worship service. It's posted online each Sunday at 10:30 a.m. and features music and prayers in addition to a sermon. And I will again be preaching this week. Thank you to our staff for making this video possible. It was produced by Christian Holmes. Alma Viscara assisted with the editing. We will see you all online soon and in person as soon as possible for us to gather again. And please remember that no matter how isolated you feel, we are all in this together.